Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arifah Awatif Binti Mohamad, matric number 263209. I will be presenting for organizational leadership subject. So my title is Leadership and Personality, a case study of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. Who is Mark Zuckerberg? Mark Zuckerberg, or his full name, Mark Elliott Zuckerberg, is a successful entrepreneur and an American computer programmer. He is most recognized for co-founder, serving as the company's chairman, CEO and controlling shareholder Facebook, a social networking website from 2004 until now that he built along with his friend Andrew McCollum, Dustin Moskovitz, Chris Hangers, and Eduardo Severin. He was born on May 14, 1984, in White Plains, New York, United States. He is the second child of 4 siblings from the couple. His father, Edward Zuckerberg, is a dentist, and his mother, Karen Zuckerberg, is a psychologist. He was up in a well-educated household and showed an early interest in computer programming. Zuckerberg built Zucknet, a messaging software that he used as an inter-office communication system for his father's dentistry practice when he was 20 years old. To keep up with Zuckerberg's burgeoning interest in computers, his parents hired a private computer tutor for him. Due to his early signs of success, his parents got him a computer programming tutor while he was still in high school, and they enrolled him at Pratt School in New Hampshire. After graduating from Exeter in 2002, Zuckerberg enrolled at Harvard University. While Harvard University extracts a high level of education, Mark Zuckerberg rapidly established himself as the campus go-to computer programmer. He had already created 2 apps by his sophomore year, like Cosmesh and FaceMesh. It was at that time that he built a program called Cosmesh, which helped students choose their classes based on the course selection of other users. Then he also created FaceMesh, which compared the pictures of 2 students on campus and allowed users to vote on which one was more attractive. Both programmers were hugely popular, but the latter was eventually shut down by the university because it was judged improper. Based on his popularity on school, Zuckerberg teamed up with Paul to launch a social networking site that allowed Harvard students to interact. The site's the Facebook went live in June 2004 and was run by Zuckerberg out of his dorm room. AOL, American Online, and Microsoft, for example, has indicated interest in purchasing the program, but he rejects the offers. After his sophomore year, Zuckerberg dropped out of college to focus full-time on what was then known as Facebook. By the end of 2004, the website might have 1 million users. Zuckerberg met his now wife, Priscilla Chan, at Harvard in 2003. He had 2 children named Maxima and August Chan Zuckerberg as a result of his marriage. Zuckerberg has selected as one of the world's top 100 most important individuals in its Person of the Year award in 2008. On Forbes' list of the world's most powerful people in December 2016, Zuckerberg was placed in 10th. Leadership. Mark Zuckerberg can be categorized as a transformational leader in his leadership. It can be said as a process in which leader and the employees lift one another to greater moral and and motivational levels. This type of leadership empowers people by giving them the power, bravery, and independence to pick their own path to victory. He can encourage people via his enthusiasm for internet communication and his ongoing desire to develop and innovate for future. Zuckerberg also has harnessed and the potential of transformative leadership by allowing employees to share in the organizational growth. So, he thinks that outstanding individuals working under clear leadership may achieve tremendous things in the future. The employees, he pushed individuals to go beyond what they felt they were capable of. His leadership and personality reveal unimaginable talent in his employees and can be proved as demanding, aggressive, and encouraging to them. Then he was to turn such missteps into opportunities for company's development. He inculcates excitement and pride in his vision for Facebook, puts his own interests aside and concentrates on the broader picture, as well as tell his colleagues that they will overcome any obstacle together. He invites his employees to participate in a question and answer session in which he replies any queries they may have. Not only that, but he also occasionally encourages his employees to sign up and share their recollection of working for Facebook. As a leader, Zuckerberg recognized the need of focusing on effect, thinking quickly, and creating social value that matters. His aspiration to contribute and urge others to do the same demonstrate that excellent leader must value and consider his philanthropic mindset if the people wish to be useful and notable in the fields they choose to work in. Moreover, he is a person with a variety of needs, interests, and talent who can assist in making aspiration a reality. He does not wish to oversee others but wants to, as people become more closer to one another, generate possibilities, and try to decrease poverty through global communication. Moreover, he also pushes his employees to create and offer more than is necessary, which may be puzzling and irritating at times, but is helpful in the long run because his employees value their output far more than what he demands. The employees characterize Zuckerberg as a high-demanding individual with high expectation for personal development, as well as creativity, which is critical in the ever-changing world of social media and technology. Mark also used 3 styles of leadership, like autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. I will start autocratic first. It can be understanding to a single individual or boss at the top who has the most power and makes all the company's strategic decisions. Mark Zuckerberg can be proven in an autocratic leader when he will have the authority to make and overturn any crucial decision, although the financials and board of directors are required to do so if the company changes its status to public. He has established himself as a person who is always advocating for continuous modernization and expansion. As a result, Zuckerberg had his interest in disagreement and obstacle. Zuckerberg also does not require board approval and does not allow them to intimidate him because he understands the value and significance of his company and the role within it. He feels that it is critical to be consistent in the actions because of his ability to see into the future. He is always firm in his judgments. This part is seen to be more efficient and helpful to the company's investment and profit. Then he is hesitant to make some decisions that may not be as helpful, such as in the case of user privacy. But as a leader, he was certain about his choice. However, he can be the opposite and unimportant to others. As a result, he is a strong and autonomous leader who makes choice without consulting others. So this style works best in situations when total control is required and there is minimal room for error. When the situation is perilous, strict restriction can keep individuals safe in future. It is critical to know when and how to deploy autocratic leadership, so when the rapid choices are required, it is extremely successful. Then, if employees are inexperienced and require straightforward direction, this approach is also a suitable fit. So, Zuckerberg's tenacity has helped Facebook maintain its present profitability. Second, Mark Zuckerberg also used the democratic style in his leadership. It refers in which members of the group have a more active participation in the decision-making process. It can be shown when he places a greater emphasis on the organization's employees and group relationship, and they are strongly encouraged to offer their own ideas. Zuckerberg tried to form positive relationship with his employees and visible to the public daily. He is even decided to work in an office with a clear glass wall so that his co-workers can see him at work. Despite his hectic schedule, he is always reachable. Next, the employees are given autonomy in their work environment and firm executive priorities engaging with their employees. Another reason Zuckerberg is seen as a democratic leader is that his management style encourages job happiness and increased productivity via creativity as well as innovation. He gives full commitment and concentrating on his objective of making the world more open and connected by empowering individuals to share anything they want with whoever they want, no matter where they are. He also leads his team in implementing his pillar approach, which is creating the greatest and most widely used mobile product possible. Besides, he also trying to establish a platform where every new program can be social and allow users to share, as well as a powerful monetization and economy engine that will turn Facebook into one of the world's most valuable firms in the long run. Under democratic leadership, team members are also more likely to be supportive and strong. Within the organization, democratic leaders are typically well-liked. Employees who work under the direction of a democratic boss are delighted with their jobs or the duties they must complete for the company. And the third one is laissez-faire leadership style that Mark Zuckerberg used to form his Facebook company. It can be defined to which leader take a backseat or leave group members alone to make decisions for the company. It can be shown when Zuckerberg permits his employees to make modifications to the appearance of the Facebook website. So this approach demonstrates that he has confidence in his employees because they are treated as friends by the leader. Employees are also frequently inspired and empowered to achieve the highest ideal outcomes encouraged from of this. Then it will break down barrier between leader and other staff. Is a part of removing hierarchies. He took a concept and developed it into an empire of his own, utilizing his own abilities and acumen. They are encouraged to focus on initiatives that they care about. Status and experience are less important than contributions. Now we will go to the background to the issues. I have 3 issues. Security and privacy is one of the issues. Facebook under Mark Zuckerberg has been embroiled in a series of scandals in recent years. This application has a 10-year track record of events revealing poor and inadequate data privacy protection procedures. This is because Cambridge Analytica, US and UK, a data marketing firm operating under parent organisation SCL Election Ltd, managed to capture non-authorized personal information from 87 million people Facebook profile with the goal of swaying election across the world. Due to a confluence of factors including inadequate safeguards against companies engaging in data harvesting, little to no oversight of developers by Facebook, developer abuse of the Facebook API, application programming interface, and users agreeing to overly broad terms and conditions that company and others were able to gain access to personal data of Facebook users. That site also amended its result to indicate that the attackers obtained access to data such as contact details, geolocation, birth dates, and search history, and that the number of compromised users was about 30 million accounts. Facebook also was accused of obfuscating the fact that the app's collecting user call records and SMS data from users in 2015 and earlier by configuring its Android apps permission in such a way. Not only that, Zuckerberg and Facebook were found abusing a flaw in Apple's iOS standards by distributing research apps with a company certificate. The software was able to get root access to a user's device and harvest information such as continual location monitoring and message, and as well as media from the third-party apps using this sort of certificate. Next, fake news and hate speech. Facebook was subjected to a barrage of negative headlines which was caused by acts of bullying or violence on the website. For example, the implication of misleading information are more significant than ever in the United States, which large protests over racial inequity and deadly wildfire. It also caused the problem during 2016 US presidential election when politicians can and do post lies on social media, especially Facebook, so the user on the social media has the potential to influence their opinion and votes. Moreover, Elizabeth Warren, as Democratic presidential candidate, claimed in the phony commercial that Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook creator, has backed Donald Trump's re-election campaign. After the 2016 election, many people worried that false news stories distributed on Facebook affected the election outcomes. Donald Trump's Facebook posts also have sparked hate discussion within the social media firm. Facebook acknowledged to allowing this information to spread unchecked, but that issue allegedly still a problem on the platform. As part of the Stop Hate for Profit boycott, hundreds of firms also have pulled their advertising from Facebook due to the quantity of hate speech. Besides, the employees have complained on Facebook's internal messaging program and in person to Mark Zuckerberg as well as other management. Some Facebook employees claim in private chat channel that the message violate the company's hateful policies, which are specified in the firm's internal standards. The last one is fake accounts. It may be used to inflate followers counts, which is advantageous for online influencers who are compensated for promoting companies or service. According to Facebook's own estimations, duplicate accounts for about 11% of monthly active users, with fraudulent accounts accounting for another 5%. Others assert that the total is far greater, but over 3 billion false accounts were removed by that company, highlighting the difficulties social media sites confront in combating automated accounts or bots and other malicious attempts to influence the platforms. Facebook announced that in the final 3 months of 2018, it also disabled 1.2 billion fraudulent accounts and 2.19 billion in the first quarter of 2019. It can be used to inflate a person's or movement's popularity or disfavor, altering users' perception of genuine public sentiment. In many areas of the globe, cybercriminals have been exploiting false accounts to sow distrust and societal division, and in some cases, to instigate violence against organizations or people. Most false social media accounts are bots, which are established by automated programmers to publish specific type of material, which is a violation of Facebook terms of service and a part of attempt to control social interaction. It aims to detect and stop any policy breaches without banning real users in the process. However, if its standards for identifying breaches and acting are too lenient, other users may be harmed, and the firm may find itself embroiled in yet another public relations disaster. Scammers and fraudsters are continually attempting to find ways through Facebook defenses, making the situation much more tough. Issues of discussion on strategy applied in the case selected. Establishing a quick response security team should be one of the first things Facebook does. Facebook also should devote more resources to listening to its users. That will only happen if it begins to pay attention to what users desire. So Facebook's company would be a lot easier to operate if it began to listen to its users more frequently. It also has added new privacy settings and extended its bug bounty program to prevent repeat occurrences. In addition, the company stepped ahead of requests for regulation of the social network, offering to cooperate with authorities on the appropriate form of legislation. For example, Zuckerberg and Facebook has been planning for the implementation of a stringent European data privacy regulation called the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR), controls how business keep user data and compels them to notify customers within 72 hours of a data breach. Moreover, Facebook also has published a list of privacy guidelines that describe how users may have more control over their personal information. Fake news and hate speech. During a debate over voting rights and election integrity, Zuckerberg emphasized steps has been made to prevent voter suppression and promote accurate election information. His initiative include launching the largest voting information campaign in American history with the goal of assisting 4 million people in registering to vote, banning posts that made false claims about voting 22 hours before an election, and adding link to authoritative voting information to posts about voting in the future. Other strategy is in the language analysis tools used by Facebook to detect hate speech. Besides, Lymphoma also is a new technology developed by Facebook to help it manage the rising resource costs of scanning billions of posts every day. It also working on an issue that is a little less well-defined, like comprehending the interplay of text and pictures. Then helpful content and groups that are not reported to that company are also identified using Facebook proactive artificial intelligence-based detection techniques. Mark Zuckerberg also met the leaders of the Stop Hate for Profit movement to hear from the campaign's leaders and reconfirm company's commitment to fighting haters on Facebook. Other than that, share the site's terms and rules so that visitors may get all the information they need in one location, like user agreement, data policy, and community standards. One of the strategies that Facebook has been taken is deep entity classification, reflects its complexity since it uses machine learning to analyze not just the profile that are active on that site, but also the behavior and interaction of each individual profile with the rest of the community. DEC is capable of successfully mapping the intricacy of each Facebook profile's network of friends, groups, page, and other features. The machine also is then trained on a data set of accounts that have previously has been classified as fraudulent or real. Moreover, band-specific IP Internet Protocol addresses from accessing the system and hence from creating accounts. The most effective approach to combat false accounts is to prevent them from being created in the first place by identifying indicators of criminal activity that site sophisticated detection algorithm check for any fraudulent accounts as soon as they join up. This system also employs a mix of signals such as suspicious email address patterns, suspicious activities, and other indications previously linked with other fake accounts they have been deleted. To conclude, Mark Zuckerberg has served as an icon for Facebook up until now. Mark guides his firm with the essence of transformational leadership, followed by a mix of authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership to establish his point and set an example for others. Mark and his firm also address concerns like as security and privacy issues, fake news and hate speech, and as well as fake accounts. As a result, it can be seen how Mark Zuckerberg and his staff are continually working together to serve all the challenges. So if the employees are constantly devoted and Facebook is the major choice for people, it is up to the leader to establish the environment of his leadership via his personality. Thank you.